all of your favorite recipes.
Simply Food.
You should know by now that you're in for a treat.
Simply Food.
There's no other channel where you'd rather be.
Simply Food.
Seafood, pasta, cakes, and pies. Sing and laugh and even cry. Like and share and hit subscribe. Simply Food by TY.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Simply Food by TY, and today I'm going to teach y'all how I make my Italian stuffed shells, and honestly, this recipe is so simple, so let's get right into it. So, of course, the first thing you want to do is go on ahead and get your pasta cooked so that you can let that cook, drain it, and allow it to start cooling. Make sure you guys are always properly salting your water. And as I said earlier, we're going to be making stuffed shells, so make sure you use the jumbo shells. That way you can really get all of the filling in there. Once your pasta is fully cooked, make sure that you drain it off. Don't rinse it, but just sit it to the side. And I would suggest cooking it to about al dente because it is going to get baked and you don't want your pasta to get soggy. So I'm going to be using ricotta cheese here. Now, I know a lot of people have issues with ricotta cheese, but I don't really understand what that is. And honestly, I cannot imagine eating stuffed shells without ricotta cheese. So I'm just going to show you guys the exact way that I do it. Okay. So I also add in a 4 cheese blend, which is an Asiago Fontina, Parmesan, and Provolone mix. I'm going to add in that entire container of that cheese. That's going to add great flavor. And it also is nice because it has different hints of, you know, a nutty texture because of the different types of cheeses. We're also going to add in 2 large eggs. Now that's just really going to kind of help bind everything together. I would suggest to make sure you have your ricotta cheese and your eggs sitting out on the counter. I would say maybe about 10 or 15 minutes prior to you about to whip this dish up. It'll just make your life a lot easier. Now I have 1 bag of mozzarella cheese here. I'm only going to use roughly about half of the bag. So I would say about a cup to about a cup and a half of the mozzarella cheese. Don't feel like you have to use all of it because it's really not necessary, because remember, we just added in that other Parmesan cheese as well. I just added in some parsley flakes as well as Italian seasoning. Now, of course, I wanted to use fresh parsley, but the idiot that brought my groceries sent me cilantro instead. I'm also going to add in some salt-free garlic and herb seasoning. I added in probably about 2 to 3 teaspoons of that. It adds great flavor, and you could add in as much as you want because it is salt-free. A little dash of pepper, and then just a slight pinch of salt. Don't get too crazy with the salt because remember, there's a lot of cheeses in there, and you don't want to make this overly salty. At this point, if you would like, you could also add in a pinch of sugar. Some people like to add in a little bit of sugar to add a tinge of sweetness to it. I'm personally not going to do that, but I know a lot of people enjoy it. So, you know, feel free to do so if you want, but that option is definitely there. Now, you want to vigorously give this a good mix around so that everything is fully incorporated. And then once you get this mixed, honestly, you can just put some cling film over this, sit it in the fridge while we go ahead and cook the meat. And if you want to, for best flavor, do this a few hours beforehand, or you can just prep it the day before. Let's talk about the meat. So I'm going to be adding in Italian hot sausage. Now, you can make this meatless. You can add in vegetables. You can add, mushrooms. You can add in spinach. You can do it with ground beef. I personally really like to enjoy the cheese aspect of the stuffed shells, so I do not like an excessive amount of meat in my stuffed shells. So I only use 1 pack of the ground beef. 1 pack of the Italian sausage. And as you can see, I am breaking it down into very small pieces because I do not want large chunks. Once you've cooked off your meat, place it onto some paper towel to soak up as much of that oil as possible, because we don't want to dump all of that excess oil into our mixture because that's just not the business. And as you can see, that's a lot of oil left over that we just don't really need to be trying to use. At this point, you guys, you are almost at the point where, you know, you've kind of done the entire recipe besides stuffing the shells. So go on ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees because we're in the home stretch. So go on ahead and mix in your Italian sausage or whatever other ingredients you want to add. If you're going to use spinach, and especially if you're going to use frozen spinach, please make sure you drain off all of the water. You do not want your mixture to become runny or loose. Now, this is my particular favorite brand of marinara sauce. I also make it from scratch, so you can use whatever brand you would like, but I would definitely say use a nice high quality one because, as you can see, I don't have to add any extra seasonings to it. That's how good that marinara sauce is. Now, as you guys may or may not know, I'm not a big sauce person, so that's actually all the sauce I'm going to add. Some people add in a lot of sauce and then they put sauce on top of the shells as well. I don't personally do that. I just like a hint of the tomato sauce, not too much. Now, when it comes to stuffing the shells themselves, you want to make sure that they are firmly packed in, but don't do too much because then you're going to have cheese going all over the place. And for presentation purposes, you want it to look really, really nice. So make sure it is nicely stuffed in there, but don't go overboard. And then literally all you're going to do is place it in there. I'm going to repeat this step a few more times. Now, once again, as I stated earlier in the video, when you cook your pasta for this, you really want to make sure that you cook your pasta to al dente or maybe even slightly under that, because when we put this in the oven, we're going to bake this for about 30 minutes or so. You don't want that pasta to turn into mush. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a little bit undercooked, by the time we put it in the oven and bake it off, it'll be at the right texture because, you've set yourself up for success by not overcooking the pasta to begin with. So once you do this, you're going to finish stuffing all of your shells. Now, just so you guys know, I'm making a very, very small pan because I'm going to be the only one eating these. But this entire recipe will make a lot of stuffed shells. The good thing is that the mixture, your ricotta mixture, freezes very, very nicely. So I'm actually going to freeze the rest of mine because, as you can see, I'm making a very small pan and I had a lot of filling left. So, if you're going to make it for a large size family, you're in good hands. And if you still want to make it the amount that I did, still do so, but then just freeze the rest. Now, I'm just putting a light topping of the mozzarella cheese and the cheddar cheese. We're going to bake this in the oven, like I said, at 350 degrees for roughly about 30 to 40 minutes. You can keep an eye on it until it's to your liking or the browning of your liking. If you want, you can put it on the broiler to get that extra crispiness. And that's it, you guys. That's my version of stuffed shells. Straight to the point, but absolutely delicious. Look, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys like my channel and the content that I produce, and y'all stay cute and take care. Bye.
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food.